be prepared. The first spiritual portal of the year is wide open, and you have no idea what you're about to witness. This isn't just a new calendar page. Today is 1/11, a convergence of the first month, the first day, and a year, 2026, that vibrates at the frequency of 1. This precise, triple-locked alignment hasn't occurred in this way for years, and its energy is not a gentle invitation. It's an activation. This portal doesn't care for your wish list. It demands your authentic signature. It's not a space for dreaming of who you might be, but a proving ground for who you already are. Think of 1/11 as a spiritual threshold, sharp and unforgiving. It functions as a filter, a living exam that only allows what is genuine and uncompromised to pass forward. The energy it radiates incinerates pretense. If the core version of you, the one unadorned by performance or fear, hasn't stepped forward yet, understand this clearly: this gateway does not pause. It proceeds, and the choice to move with it or be left behind is yours alone. Beneath this obvious intensity, however, operates a more subtle, almost stealthy mechanism. The most critically overlooked aspect of this portal is its alchemical speed in turning casual choices into binding commitments. These aren't the loud, celebrated decisions, but the quiet ones that weave themselves into the fabric of your future without fanfare. Today, a simple yes spoken out of momentary excitement or politeness carries the weight of a vow. This energy acts as a spiritual adhesive. What you agree to now, in conversation, in emotion, in silent expectation, will stick with a tenacity that defies later regret. Remember, not all contracts are written on paper. The most binding are etched in energy and sealed in silence. This applies to relationships you entertain, goals you mentally affirm, and even the private negotiations you make with yourself. That offhand commitment, that ambiguous maybe, that reluctant nod, under this portal's influence, these subtle moments are magnified into defining paths. Your discernment, therefore, is your most vital tool. If you are not grounded in your own truth, this energy can elegantly seduce you into pathways that look right but feel faintly wrong. That tiny discord today will amplify into a roar of misalignment tomorrow. This isn't about living in fear of choice, but about operating with surgical honesty. The portal doesn't ask for your desires, it honors your commitments, so you must choose them with brutal clarity. Today, reality pulls back a curtain it usually keeps drawn. While most days feel familiar, today the veil between you and what has been hiding in plain sight becomes transparent. The opportunities arriving are not announced with trumpets. They are quiet revelations. A name that recurs in unexpected places. A conversation that unlocks a door in your memory. A sudden, crystalline moment of understanding in the middle of your mundane routine. True doors rarely look like doors when you first encounter them. That is the profound gift of this alignment. It sharpens your vision to see the pathways that have been waiting beside you all along. These are cracks in the wall of your habitual life, revealing glimpses of a parallel existence you hadn't dared to consider. On this day, strange thoughts are not mere imagination, they are invitations. A passing comet can reroute your destiny. A random encounter, a vivid dream, a gut-deep knowing that logic cannot justify, these are the whispers of a new direction. The most significant opportunities never shout. They murmur, and only those who have quieted their inner noise will hear. Your task today is not to chase, but to notice with profound attention. There is a deep resonance in this triple sequence. One way to understand it is that each one poses a silent, unavoidable question to your soul. The first asks, who are you becoming? Not the polished persona for your resume, but the raw, emerging self you feel in your most unguarded moments. This portal is excavating that future self, pulling it from the shadows of someday into the daylight of now. The second question follows, what are you willing to choose? Energy flows where action goes. This portal is indifferent to pretty intentions, it responds only to movement. The subtle shift from contemplation to action is the signal it acknowledges. And remember, every true yes inherently contains a no, to an old habit, a comfortable pattern, a lesser path. The third, and perhaps most confronting, question is, what are you finally done tolerating? You often don't grasp the weight of your compromises until the burden is lifted. This energy brings to the surface the quiet tolerations, the disrespectful self-talk, the draining relationships, the incremental habits that leak your power. It doesn't demand a war. It simply asks if you are ready to stop offering sanctuary to what diminishes you. Your answers will not be spoken. They will be demonstrated by what you energetically feed and what you consciously starve. Most people answer these questions unaware, through their reflexes of avoidance or engagement. Whether you move with clarity or confusion, your response itself is the revelation. You are not required to have the full map today. You are only required to stand still long enough to feel the terrain shifting beneath your feet. Let's speak plainly. For many, the previous year was not about flourishing, it was about endurance. Survival mode has a way of constructing a functional self, a shell that can withstand pressure but often forgets how to feel. That shell, that necessary armor, is now beginning to crack under the new frequency. This is not a failure, it is a necessary demolition. The portal's purpose is not to hand you a new costume, but to dissolve the one that no longer serves. This process is not reinvention, which starts from scratch. This is emergence. The parts of you that were suppressed, deemed impractical, or too vulnerable for survival are now rising. It may feel disorienting because you are not being shown a stranger. You are being reintroduced to a long-forgotten part of yourself, buried beneath who you had to be. This portal fundamentally inverts the common understanding of manifestation. It moves beyond the model of building a future from thought alone. Today is about recognition. There is a pivotal difference between chasing a distant dream and realizing you are suddenly within its reach. The signal is clearing. The static of old doubt is fading. What once seemed like a fantasy now feels tangibly close, as if it has been orbiting your life, waiting for your frequency to match its own. The job you dismissed, the creative spark you called unrealistic, the version of you labeled too much, these were not mirages. They were latent realities waiting for your perception to catch up. Sometimes, the life meant for you is not distant in miles, but in vibration. Today, the filter that separated you from it grows thin. You are not so much creating as you are remembering. You are noticing the doors that were always in the room. And once you truly see something meant for you, you cannot unsee it. The portal strips away the distortions of fear and the old stories of unworthiness. The invitation is to step toward what feels strangely, deeply familiar. That sense of remembrance is your truest confirmation. The path isn't being built anew, it's being illuminated at your feet. This is why today feels electrically different, even in the silence of an unchanged room. It's an internal reset. Your mind and your intuition, often at odds, briefly synchronize. This synchronicity creates a heightened perceptiveness. You are not replaying the past, but scanning the horizon for true north. Your internal compass is recalibrating to the coordinates of your genuine future. This is why small things feel significant. It's not that they've changed, but that you are now perceiving them with the consciousness of the person you are becoming. The year begins internally, long before the external world catches up. The physical portal of the date will close, but the spark it ignites within you need not fade. The common mistake is to treat this as a one-day event, a momentary surge of magic. In truth, its power is only as temporary as your willingness to nurture it. Today provides the ignition, you must choose to tend the flame. The most potent way to anchor this energy is not with a sprawling list of resolutions, but with one intentional, defining choice, a thematic direction for your year. Select a power word. A word like release, anchor, speak, or flow. Let it be a lens for your decisions and a permission slip for your growth. Carry the spark forward through consistent, minor alignments. Each week, choose one action that resonates with your word. Each month, identify and remove one element that contradicts it. The power lies in the consistency of alignment, not the grandeur of the action. Pay exquisite attention to those fleeting moments of intuition, a flash of clarity, a surge of quiet determination. These are not random, they are the trail of breadcrumbs left by your future self. The portal gives direction, not a detailed map. Your task is to follow the feeling, even when the logic isn't yet clear. When you do this, you cease to be a spectator of the portal's magic. You become its living continuation. This is how a single day echoes across an entire year, through your embodied commitment to the truth it revealed. Finally, while everyone sees the ones on the calendar, almost no one discusses the third, hidden one, the momentum encoded within 2026 itself. This is the directional force. The first one is your authentic identity. The second is your conscious choice. The third is the year's trajectory, a forward pull that favors progress over paralysis. This is a year that asks for decision, not deliberation. It rewards courage born of clarity, the courage to choose a path and walk it, to stop rehearsing life and start living it. You may notice a profound shift. The past, with all its unresolved threads and old aches, suddenly feels distant, neutral. This isn't detachment or numbness. It is the clarity that comes when your energy is no longer tethered to what you've outgrown. This year doesn't encourage you to tie up every loose end from yesterday. It encourages you to rise to a plane where those ends no longer bind you. You are being pulled forward by possibility, not pushed by pain. The excitement you feel, however quiet, is the evidence of this new alignment. Every year has a tone, but 2026 begins with a commitment. This portal is its first energetic imprint, a promise of the support to come. The promise is this: you are entering a year that responds to sincerity over strategy, to essence over performance. You may feel a newfound confidence, a pull toward delayed decisions. These are signals that your inner compass is finally free of interference. The universe's pledge is clarity. When you act from authenticity, alignment happens with surprising grace. Opportunities will appear in unexpected forms. This is not luck, but resonance. The year also offers a foundation of steady momentum, progress that feels supported rather than forced. But the most meaningful promise is this: your efforts will gain traction. The small, consistent steps, the parts of yourself you once hid, your creativity, your voice, your vision, will begin to find solid ground and bear weight. 2026 does not require a blind leap. It asks for intentional steps. This portal is your quiet assurance that you are now met with the clarity, energy, and alignment to build what is authentically and irrevocably yours.